maintenance in terms of their physical health, their mental health, and probably most importantly, our relationships with each other.
Science explains the machinery of the physical world, but it's completely blind to the meaning and the spiritual mystery happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, a creature with hair covering its entire body and no visible face was just caught stealing and eating children. And the next time you let your child out, it may be the last time you see them. People were terrified after footage out of the jungle in Indonesia showed a figure fast enough to sprint on two legs and vanish before anyone could reach it, with residents saying children in surrounding villages are still disappearing with no trace, no body, and no explanation. Hunter reports of a man living in the same jungle for 5 years found a deceased girl tangled in their trap that would normally be made for a rhino, meaning they are not only strong but incredibly intelligent, and they are hunting humans and our children one by one. But it gets much darker, as after the video went viral, the Indonesian government sent an actual search team into that jungle to find them. Conservation cameras have been placed throughout the forest for years, and not a single one has ever captured them, meaning whatever is taking these children knows how to hide from everything we have. While many describe this as a creature, it is not. They are people, an ancient tribe called the Manti tribe, but the children are still going missing.
Those are painted men wearing black skirts. You will not change my mind on that.
NASA has been testing and double-checking this for 6 years before announcing this week. In 2020, the Mars Curiosity rover drilled a hole in a rock and collected a sample of it. It then brought it inside of the rover, pulverized the rock, and then heated it in an oven inside the rover on Mars. It's crazy that they can do that. And then they measured the gases that came off of it. They also put a sample of this in a solvent and watched what happened. This week, NASA announced that after years of tests, they found something that they'd never seen on Mars before. They found 21 organic molecules from this sample right here, and we have seen organic molecules on Mars before, but 7 of them, a third of them, we hadn't. The coolest part is that one of these molecules is a nitrogen heterocycle, which is considered a predecessor for RNA and DNA. We know that Mars had water. I mean, we can see that now. Specifically, the area where this sample was taken, we know had water. This is just even more evidence that it's possible that life could have developed on Mars billions of years ago. But also, we don't know if this sample has anything to do with biology. It could be completely geologic. Either way, it's very cool to know.
This woman is taking what NASA says way too seriously for my liking. Who the hell got AI to generate those images so flawlessly? I have to know what prompt they used because they are way too realistic.
The blanket appears to be pulled as if tugged by an unseen hand. The boy woke up and told his mother that someone had grabbed his foot. At first, she didn't believe him. She told him it was probably just her moving in the bed. But after he drifted off again, she decided to check the CCTV playback. What she saw confirmed exactly what her son had described. Something had pulled the blanket and grabbed at his feet.
What if they got a camera in their bedroom?
The uploader wrote that the experience was deeply frightening. In a follow-up video, the family is shown having their home blessed by a local priest, hoping to put an end to whatever was happening.
I have to be honest, right? The footage was too blurry to make out much of anything that was going on there.
They create how you feel. How you feel becomes an emotion. An emotion becomes a vibration. A vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. So you gotta protect your mind, and you gotta know it takes 3 minutes for your body to produce a hormone. Your thoughts produce chemicals. So you got a built-in CVS. You got a built-in pharmacy inside of your body. So when you think about something for 3 minutes or more, I'm great, I'm great, I'm great, I'm great. You said it. What's the word? What's the word?
Dopamine.
Dopamine. Your body is gonna produce that naturally. 3 minutes or more with a thought that can activate that in your body. And then that chemical, that hormone becomes an emotion. That emotion becomes a vibration. That vibration becomes a magnet that attracts things to you. So create the world you want to live in, because you're creating the world that you're living in. So create the world that you want to live in, because you're creating.
Imagine what we could be capable of if we applied this mentality to every aspect of every day. It feels impossible because the system is designed at every point to tear us from this path, run us down, and just plain up fatigue us to the point where even trying feels like a lost cause.
After many, many decades of people debating this, you might have figured out the reason why we dream.
Yes, and it's a simple answer. So if you go blind, the visual cortex at the back of the brain gets taken over by hearing and by touch and by other things. In fact, our colleagues at Harvard did an experiment where they blindfolded normally sighted people, and you can start seeing that takeover happening after 60 minutes. And that's when we realized, wow, the purpose of dreaming is to defend the visual territory from takeover from the other senses. Well, what fascinates me about brain plasticity and what I've devoted my career to is figuring out the way that we can be the sculptors of our own brains and how it gives us an opportunity to become the kind of person we would like to be.
And can we do that?
Yes. And here's the thing. Your brain peaked at the age of 2. Okay, so at the beginning, you've got fluid intelligence, meaning you can learn anything. But now that you have grown up in this world, you've got crystallized intelligence, meaning you know how to drive a car, you know how to operate a cell phone, you know how to run a business, and so your brain doesn't require as much change, which means that the structure of the brain is always degenerating.
So what are the set of actions that will fundamentally change my brain and make me that type of person who's motivated and disciplined and who has high agency and attacks the world?
So this is something I've studied in my lab for decades now, and the key is that,
And what about AI and the social media debate as it relates to brain development?
well, I happen to be a cyber optimist for young people. I think it's going to make them much smarter than the generation that came before. And here's why.
Interesting.
No, that's not going to happen because AI has intentionally been demonized, dumbed down, and made attractive in a way that, well, gets people to misuse it intentionally to make them dumber. AI was never meant to make the next generation smarter. It was supposed to make them dependent. Something tells me this video is not official and definitely not real.
I just read the most disturbing article I think I've ever read in my
This is bad.
did a full investigation into a global academy. 62 million men attended this academy back in February, where they learned how to drug and their wives, and they share tips with each other on how to get away with it. This all reminds me of Dominic Pellico, you know, that man from France, where he would drug his wife and then invite dozens of men over to assault her in her sleep. Well, apparently this has inspired 62 million other men to learn how to do this to their partners and get away with it. There's one hashtag that they use in this academy millions and millions of times with each other. It's hashtag iCheck, where they film themselves opening the eyelids of their wife, their partner, and then posting it in their chat rooms to show each other when to make sure it's good to go. Some of these men have even turned this into lucrative online businesses where they are selling sleepy liquids and delivering them globally to different men who want to make sure they get their iCheck just right. Here's some of the pictures they've posted in their little chat rooms in this academy. Excited that they got their delivery. 62 million men. Where the f- are women safe?